people are on Halo Talks NYC. I have the pleasure of having Monica Marder on from Form50 Fitness. If you haven't heard about it yet in Miami or coming to New York, you're going to learn about it now and you're going to get into the studio later. So Monica, welcome to your first podcast. I'm so excited.
I'm so excited. This is it's very exciting to be here and to be chatting with you and the Halo world.
Awesome. So thank you for using our acronym. So we're going to change the world with the health, active lifestyle, outdoor community, and we are going to solve loneliness, obesity, and diabetes. And we're going to make sure entrepreneurs like you build the biggest business you can. So talk about how you got into the space. Talk about the location in Miami. Obviously, there's been a lot of population growth down there since COVID, and then moving into New York, coming in May and taking over an old Soul Cycle. So take it away.
Yeah, a lot of exciting things to unpack here. So the first studio I opened in 2018. That was really from a real desperation of trying to find a workout that was low impact, that had a functional strength training component that was not traditional Pilates, because we are not Pilates, so we can start off with that. But I was really seeking for that moody environment that was extremely popular. It's still very popular, that provides results, right? So I traveled a lot for my corporate job at the time. So I had a lot of exposure to seeing what was going on around the country. And obviously I was based out of New York, so I knew what that market looked like. And I really found, a big need for this. There's a big need for this. So that's kind of where it came from. Form50 is not a Pilates brand. We are functional strength training, and we happen to use a reformer. So,
Gotcha.
Yep.
So one of the most interesting things that came out of COVID is that anything related to group workouts that are on your own machine and are socially distanced has grown exponentially versus some of the other types of modalities where you're switching or you're moving pieces of equipment or you're kind of breathing on other people. When you got into this, what kind of research did you do, or what led you to the reformer, and what is like the DNA of the programming?
Yeah. So when I first started, usually people that use this modality, they are in a little bit of a box. So they either practice the Legree method, or they are more focused on the traditional Pilates method. So for me, when I was traveling and taking classes at all these different places, I saw a huge opportunity, because it's low impact, for us to create more results, get their heart rate up a little bit higher, so it's not such a sleepy kind of workout, and deliver those results that we're all really looking for, right?
Yeah. So from the Legree machine, obviously, that's a licensing and a territory type of deal. SLT in New York was one of the first Legree licensees that kind of picked up a lot of steam of getting people results very quickly and seeing body changes.
And
then you've got Solid Core.
When we opened, Pete, we were a Legree studio. So in 2018, my Astoria location was a Legree studio. And in February of 2020, right before the pandemic, I had made a huge investment and took a big loss to get out of my Legree arrangement, because I knew that my brand was going to grow. And being with Legree, I had extreme limitations. So that was kind of how that all went down. And then obviously COVID happened March of 2020. So my brand new equipment, was just staring at us for 7 months.
Sure. So, as you take a look at going down to Miami, what was the impetus for that? And did you model your studio off of any, other brands that you were enamored with or did research on? Or did you kind of say, look, I'm going down my own path and here's like uniqueness to the business model?
Yeah. So we didn't copy and paste what other brands like Solid Core are doing, or Body Rock, or some of the bigger players in this space. That's not of interest. Form 50 is its own category. We're focused on what we're doing and where we do it best. Some of the big differentiators with us is the experience. The coaching is something that I take extreme pride in, and there's a big education and component that goes into that. So that's an area where we're continuing to evolve and grow as our business continues to evolve and grow. So that's exciting. But yeah, to answer your question, I moved down to Miami myself personally, May of 2020. So when I realized, hey, my business isn't opening and I don't need to be 4 blocks away for proximity, I came down to visit my family and basically was like, wow, there's no COVID here. And,
Yeah.
I barely had any money at the time. The first 18 months of the business was prior to COVID. I was putting all the money back into the business. And, the last few pennies that I had, we bootstrapped yet again during COVID to get this place open and just functioning. And so the brand wouldn't die. That was a big fear of mine. I spent my whole life working to create this brand. It was doing fantastic before COVID. And, just not knowing what was going to happen is what led me to open the Miami studio, which is our second location. And then now we're kind of heading back to New York. We opened up our Williamsburg location in July, and we have our flagship opening this May. So it's really exciting stuff. We have 4 locations open in under 6 years. We have COVID through it all and coming out stronger than ever.
So talk about, and you touched on this about, your training program, and historically through the health clubs and the studio space, a lot of instructors would jump around to different brands. So talk about how much you invest in your new instructors, how you think about them as either, kind of partners, is there exclusivity? Are you okay with them working at other locations? Or are they basically like an extension of your brand, and they are kind of part of the team full time?
Yeah, so if we're investing, it's a little bit case by case basis. So we're recently transitioning. We used to have 100% in studio training model, and now we're seeing that it's very challenging to find this level of talent that we're looking for. So we've expanded, and we're taking our training model in sort of a hybrid program where part of it they can learn online, the things that can be, learned online. And then we're going to incorporate that in studio along with practice classes and lectures and seminars and stuff like that. So the onboarding process, it is robust, and we are extremely selective. We don't, never say never, right? But for the most part, our coaches are not interested in teaching on a reformer at other studios. They're exclusive with us. But when we do look at fitness professionals who do this full time, of course, if they want to teach a different modality and they're part time with us, absolutely, this is how their livelihood. But we're getting into a position very shortly here where we're going to have 3 studios in one market, with the Lexington opening very soon. So we're in a great position to make those full time hires. So people don't have to run around to 4 different companies to make ends meet, and they can, make a solid living and teach between 2-3 studios of ours.
That's great. When you talk about low impact, are you seeing a different type of clientele come in because they feel less intimidated by the marketing of low impact, or how is that kind of
Oh,
infused?
no. I think the low impactness, it's great. We're seeing tons of, unfortunately, very injured people coming in through, other group fitness classes. Very sadly, that makes me really sad, that people are spending their money and getting injured, when that's obviously why we're working out, is to prevent injury. That's our mentality, is to
Sure.
prevent injury, get stronger, get those results that we're looking for aesthetically and all that good stuff. But yeah, no, people still come through these doors intimidated. The studio, they look at the machine or they see the machine, and that's where the intimidation kind of rises from. But we overcome that very quickly. And as soon as they get on it and we go over the equipment with them and, calm their anxiety and stuff like that, they get over it pretty quickly.
Got it. Well, what are some of the success stories or you know journeys of members that came in and obviously every modality has someone that says look, this has changed my life, or I had back pain and now I don't have it anymore. What are some of the
Oh my
takeaways that you've
goodness.
heard and seen?
Pete, if I went through the long list here, I mean, I can't even. I've seen, we're talking physical, serious back injuries, to people that have lost their husbands, and we're here picking up the pieces to their souls. So
Yeah.
it is such a wide variety, but I tell my coaches this all the time. I tell them, I'm like, you are doing God's work on this floor and you are saving people's lives, and you may not realize it, but that's exactly what you're doing. You're probably saving more lives than a firefighter does on a daily basis.
Well, I'm a honorary battalion chief of the FDNY, and I'm sure they prefer to have you save them than them having to go there and do that. So thank you. That's appreciated. Um, when you take a look at the business model, and investors are always looking for new opportunities that have strong unit economics. Average unit volume is something that people key in on. How many reformers do you feel is the right amount, or that you can max out with one instructor? And how do you manage that from looking at square footage and
Sure.
from what the optimal experience is in with a space?
Sure. So our ideal space is about 2,500 square feet.
Hmm.
I am not a believer that there should be more than 15 people on this machine in one class. Um, our
Okay.
first our first studio, Miami and Astoria have 13 machines. Our Brooklyn baby has 14, and we're going to cap out Manhattan with 15 in the group class, and then we have a private room as well to do those privates. So yeah, 15 is going to be the max. 13 is sort of the minimum in my eyes when we're looking at layouts and potential real estate opportunities, for sure.
Got it. And when you look at this type of workout, and obviously, it's low impact, but it's high results for if you say price to value, you'd say like
Yeah,
return on time, right?
yeah,
On a reformer
absolutely.
is probably like your best return on time, which a friend of mine says to me all the time, uses that term in other instances. How many days a week is like the right amount to
Yeah,
do your
so
program?
I always recommend for our clients 3 days a week, 4 days if you're, really serious and can work it out. And the best way to do it is every other day. We are a hypertrophy style workout. So with any good functional strength training that you're going to do, and you have that hypertrophy, your body does need to recover in order to, not get injured and to get those optimum results so your muscle is growing back, and we can do this all over again the next day. So the ideal is every other day, 3 to 4 days a week maximum. I have seen incredible results with clients just coming in 1 to 2 days a week, but that really depends on their body fat. More so, the leaner you are, the faster you're going to see the results, right? So, and
Yeah,
that's
sure.
just in anything, right?
Let me switch gears for a minute, and let me know if you're thinking about this yet, or what you think the potential opportunity is. Um, with these weight loss drugs like Ozempic, and it's referred to as GLP-1. One of the downside effects of taking these rapid weight loss drugs, which were originally designed for diabetes treatment, are seeing like 15, 20 pounds lost in people's, behavior and mindset change. I met with a friend about a month ago, and he's like, I have to actually remind myself to eat. And the fact that came out of his mouth is like, that would never come out of his mouth when we were, ordering pizza at 1:55 in the morning in college. So from a standpoint of, the muscle loss or the need to do some kind of strength training or body toning with these weight loss drugs, which I think a lot of people are going to be on. Have you seen any of that yet come? And do you
Oh
think that
yeah,
the
we
reformer
have
might be like a
seen
huge opportunity?
we have seen tons of our clients on these medications, and people that are, new clients that are coming in and either are on the medication or getting off the medication. But one thing that have seen first-handed is I do see that clients' energy levels have dropped. And I think that makes it a little bit challenging for them to carve out the time, and they're not eating a lot and their energies are lower and they're losing weight. So people are thinking, hey, I don't need to exercise, but it's
Right, right,
actually not the case. And then, they're losing all this weight, but they're not toning up right at the same time. And then they kind of want to come in after the fact. So my big recommendation is to continue your 2 to 3 days a week Form 50 programming, your regime, get your B12 shots to give you that energy, set reminders. So you're eating throughout the day, even if it's, challenging or you don't have
yep.
an appetite. We still got to get those nutrients in. And obviously to do this all under doctor's care. To answer that, I feel like a lot of it, if your question is, has the business slowed down because of it?
No, I was thinking it was going to. I was actually thinking the opposite. I was thinking that people are going to be more aware that this is a side effect, and they're going to be told, and also in all the marketing or research about these drugs, is in every article. They say here's all the benefits of it, and here's all the, you know, issues or concerns that you have to address. So
Yeah.
I think people are going to be knowledgeable
I
who are
think
on it.
also with obesity, the more people tend to get that initial bit of weight loss off, their confidence to walk into a gym or a group fitness studio or Form 50 starts to, go up. So I'm
Yeah.
a big fan of it. If it's helping people and getting, the obesity situation under control and putting people in a mindset of less impulsivity to eat, make poor decisions in how they're eating and get them to walk through our doors, I'm very for it.
And then one other question related to, current trends or current news that we're focused on is that there's been a change in the HSA FSA spending account usage. And there are several companies that are basically becoming a processing connector, and issuing what's called letters of medical necessity, which is like the equivalent of, getting a marijuana license. Like, you say, I'm stressed, okay, get a marijuana license, or you have back pain, you get a marijuana license. Um, Now they're basically for within 20 minutes and for $40, you get a letter of medical necessity and start to use your HSA or FSA account that you have built up to go to workouts like yours, or go to, use it for a health club. So basically spending pre-tax dollars
Yeah.
um, on your workouts. Have you seen that happen yet? Have you gotten solicited about having it, HSA, FSA as like a, checkout option?
No,
Or
so
have you
I
been
think
studying
this
it
is,
yet?
yeah, I think it's a really recent law or correct
Correct.
me
Yeah,
if
it's
I'm
been like
wrong.
60 days.
Yeah, so I think it's
Yeah,
still fairly early on. I'm excited for it. I think that the more awareness and the more people are able to exercise, the better and the more attainable it is. So we're here for it. We haven't had those requests yet, but hopefully they start rolling in and um, we'll be on board with that for sure.
great. And then my last question is, for the entrepreneurs that are out there, um, one of the things that's unique about the high end of the fitness studio space is that most of the players have basically held their price, and especially in the Pilates and the reformer space, you don't see like a Planet Fitness type of, business model out there, or somebody trying to, be the low cost provider of it. And obviously, you're going into an old Soul Cycle location in Midtown in May. I frequent that place at, $35 a visit. So, as you look at markets that you're going to go into, or if you look at, the urge to maybe discount or lower the price, how do you as an entrepreneur kind of say, look, if I can't fill a couple of spots here, I'm fine. I'm not lowering the price to get higher volume, or I might even, that might not be a factor in somebody actually making a decision. What's your guidance on that to your old self or to a an entrepreneur that's
Absolutely. I would say never lower your standards. I learned this from one of my mentors. I had a big problem with this because, when I opened the Miami studio, there was a competitor, well, similar. It wasn't on a reformer, but they did first class free. And I was doing that because I'm new to the market and it worked for them. So is it going to work for me? And I'll tell you, it didn't work for me, not because we weren't getting people in, but because it didn't make me feel good giving away something
interesting?
for free, even if it's a first time client. So we do a 2-for-1 kind of situation as an intro
Wow.
deal. And we also do a 2-week unlimited in our studios for trial deals. But my big
Wow.
advice is your price is your price. And, our modality at Form 50, we deliver a premium experience. We're not letting off of that. And, there's a particular client out there. We do run promotions and we do participate in Class Pass. So that's kind of the most that we can offer. But, out of desperation, there were times where, yeah, sure, I wanted to do that. But you have to stay in touch with yourself. You have to value what you have, know what you built, know your worth, and, trust in the process and continue to attract what you see for your vision as an entrepreneur, right? That's going to be the most important thing. Don't discount just, it's got to make you feel good, right? So we've done a few different things like to ramp things up. I'd rather give away a free grippy sock in a promo than, give a class away for free because the experience in our coaching and what we deliver is so premium, and I stand behind that giving a discount for that, it just doesn't feel right.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, those are some words of wisdom to end your first official podcast. I think that was awesome. And, please use our acronym HALO because you are a quintessential HALO company and invite us to the grand opening.
Absolutely. We will definitely invite you in May, 485 Lexington and 46th Street. We're going to have infrared saunas there. We have red light, body rollers, showers. It's going to be amazing. We're really excited and can't wait to see you there.
Awesome. All right. Well, look, it sounds like you got, a great mindset on running this operation. I think, bootstrapping it through COVID, you kind of feel like the progress that you made and the way you think about the strategy of the business, that comes through. And, keep doing what you're doing and helping thousands of people and look forward to meeting you in person.
Thank you so much.